again. Renee Flamand here, and Minnie. The baby. I've read a lot about people always say, do I have bad karma? Did this happen to me because I did something bad in life? Why did this happen to me? Why did this come into my path? And I feel bad when somebody thinks that they have bad karma and that's why this, came into their path. Because I don't like people to think of themselves as having bad karma just because. I just don't. I just don't like to think that. If you're a good person in this world and you know you're a good person, but now if you're not, maybe you're a narcissist who found a narcissist, well then you deserve each other. Not for nothing, but you do. But if you're a good person like me, I am a good person. I know I am. And otherwise my life goes pretty well, right? My karma is evident everywhere. I got good friendships, good family. Things are solid, right? Health and happiness all around. It's all wonderful. So I know the karma is a real thing and that I have good karma. So I said, why did this happen to me, right? So I dissected it, as I've told you, for over 100 videos. It's taken me, and it's still taking me, a lot of learning and discovery to understand why on earth this would have happened to somebody. Well, instead of you thinking of it that you might have bad karma, think of maybe you had something in your life that you didn't know that you needed to learn. And you might say, well, Renee, that's a very difficult way to learn a lesson. I understand that. I do. Trust me. However, some of us, like me, don't hear the whispers of lessons, and they need to be punched in the face with a lesson. So that's what I had to go through this to learn this. I was not going to learn this unless it was this bad. If you're in a position that you've been with a narcissist for a very long time, your question is a different one than mine. Mine lasted not even a handful of, you know what I mean? Not even it was under a year, and then the hoovering a little bit after, you know what I mean? Some of you might be like, Renee, this is 30 years. How do I explain it? You explain it because that was your life. You explain that happened to you because you wouldn't have your children. You explain it because you wouldn't maybe live in the state that you live in. Maybe he was the one that suggested you moved 30 years ago. Everything in your life right now is because of that move. There's a lot of things. I know a narcissist couple over here. They've lived there 30 years. And they got divorced. And the woman was upset. And I said, yeah, but you know what? You're so happy in Florida. That's what he brought to you. You would never have been in Florida. You just have to look at something about it that's good. You have to find the thing that's good. You have to. Otherwise, you'll go berserk. Mine was the lessons. And I needed lessons, particularly in love versus manipulation. That was a big one. Because I come along as a very trusting person, right? So that's just how I am. I trust what people tell me to be true. Because I'm authentic. If I say it, I mean it. If I don't say it, I probably didn't think it or didn't mean it or whatever, however it goes. I'm not just going to spew things to people to make them feel good. Lay it on as thick as peanut butter to make you feel good. I'm not going to do that. Am I a natural cheerleader? Yes. Am I going to point out what's positive in you? Yes. Am I going to be happy for your accomplishments and all that's around you? Absolutely. But I would never, ever take an unsuspecting person, lie to them, and make them feel a certain way just so I can manipulate them later. And I had no idea there were people that did that. I'm 53 years old and just learned that there are people that do that. Now, I'm not saying I didn't know the word sociopath. I told you I've been reading those things for 10 years. So I knew that there were people who manipulated and said things to get what they want in business and in life. And narcissist, I knew the word, and they step on people's heads and get to the top of a corporation and they leave a trail behind. I knew that aspect. I had no idea that somebody would fake love or go through the lengths that narcissists go through to sell you the relationship and sell you that they're in love when you weren't even looking for it or wanting it. You were fine. I had no idea there were people that manipulative. I had no idea. And I've learned that from this relationship. So now I feel equipped to go forward, and if it were to come into my path again, or a person were to come into my path again and cite, oh, I feel this way, this way, this way, this way. Well, it's kind of like, okay, I will wait and see if I think that you feel that way. I will wait and see if your behavior reflects that you feel that way. Rather than, thank you, yes, oh my God, that's so lovely. Make them show you. Think about your healthy self. Take yourself as an example, because that's what I did. I took myself as an example. And when I do love somebody, friend, family, partner, they know it. There's nobody in my life that you will find, if you ask anybody in my life that I'm with, that I'm, friend, family, whatever. Oh, no. Renee shows love like nobody's business. So I started to think of that. And I thought, my actions don't contradict my words with people that I love. They don't contradict my words. I would never betray somebody that I love in a way that's been done to me. And if you know that about yourself, well, then you should be appalled when it happens to you from somebody else. You should be appalled. You don't have bad karma. Maybe you're in it to learn something. Maybe don't put it on you. That's why I don't like when people say that. Do I have bad karma? No. Maybe you're so look at it differently. Look at your situation, whether it's 30 years or 1 year, and say, okay, well, what did I gain from this? Make a list. Maybe you'll realize, wow, okay, he was a narcissist, but I got 3 beautiful grandchildren and 2 children. Or he was a narcissist, but I've learned, and I didn't fall for it again, so I skipped the next guy who was a narcissist, but I made it on to this guy who isn't. Or maybe you're saying to yourself, you know what? It's an experience I needed to go through in order to strengthen my own resolve in how to deal with adversity in relationships. Maybe you had a hole there. But the first thing I do always is count my blessings. So if you have blessings that came into your life from your narcissist, even if you hate admitting them, like the lady down the street who moved to Florida 30 years ago and ended up getting, I'm like, but that, you love it here. And she's like, you're right. I would never, ever, ever have moved here. And a lot happened from her moving here. Different people meet, couples, grandchildren. It was a whole life. So you meeting your narcissist, even though that experience has been painful and traumatic and awful, try to think of something about it that came. I look around the house, I'm like, oh, well, he planted that. He did it. Okay. Try to look at important things. For me, the most important thing was the lessons. I needed to learn this, and I needed this experience, and I needed to go forth to be able to know in life that maybe this experience came into my life because the next one was going to be really, really bad. So maybe God, and for me it's God, universe, and karma. So for me, maybe God said, okay, there's a big one coming. I want to prepare her. So I'm going to give her this one, who's also like the big one. He was a mess. So I had to learn. So now, maybe I've already talked to the person, right, in talking in life, but I've noticed a couple of narcissists that I've spoken to now, and I'm like 10 feet away, I can spot them. Or I think I can. I'm not an expert, but I think I can. At least I know more. And I'm like, oh my God, I just had a half-hour conversation with somebody and they never asked me about myself. I may have thought before, because I'm a benevolent, giving person, oh, he's so interesting. He was telling me all about himself. Now I'm like, you didn't ask me one question about myself. Not one. Kind of a big red flag. Do you know what I mean? So please don't think that you have bad karma. I don't like when I read that people think that. You're not destined to have bad karma. But look at why the narcissist is in your life. And then you'll get off the karma point. Be like, you're right, she's right. Okay, so these good things happened. Or nothing good happened. It was all bad. Okay, well then in that case, you're learning. It's your experience. So that the next time, maybe it's not going to be. And you know what? Maybe you hooked up with your narcissist because maybe had you not, there might have been something worse in store for you. Life works funny. Life works funny. You watch movies like Butterfly Effect and Sliding Doors, and you go this way instead of this way. Butterfly Effect and Sliding Doors. I just realized I tripped over my mouth. But you go this way, you were supposed to go this way. The universe will correct you. So maybe the time I spent with my narcissist saved me from an otherwise worse fate. That's how my mind works. I'm trying to share it with you so you can accept what's going on in your life and maybe say to yourself, all right, so there were reasons. There were reasons I was with this person. You do not have bad karma. Please do not think that. Chin way up.